everybody, Josh Powell here. You're watching Amateur Pool. Today we're going to do a quick little interview video with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Venom Trickshot Kholer. How's it going, Florian?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Not bad. I appreciate you doing this for me. So we just wanted to chat a little bit with you real quick. I mean, you're a pretty famous guy. A lot of people are interested in you. You laugh, but it's true, man. How many followers do you have?
So about 1 million on YouTube, 2 million on Facebook, and a few others on Instagram, TikTok, whatever else, right?
Yeah, guys, he's not famous at all.
Over 3 million combined, something?
Well, that's quite a few followers. So I think people just want to know like the basics day to day and how you became what you are today and the trials that it took to get there. You know, you were born in France, is that correct?
Yeah, correct. So, and I actually started pool kind of in the late. I only got a pool table when I was 18. So, I didn't know how to play, looked at videos on the internet. Then from there, I, tried to do the trick shot that I was seeing on the internet. Keep in mind, this was the beginning of YouTube and everything, right? So it wasn't the same way it was. There was no tutorial on how to play pool, whatever. But it was a few trick shot videos that started to pop. So I did this. I started learning a few trick shot, and by Mike Massey's book and all these things, and figured I'll learn I learned how to play pool out of trick shots. Funny thing is, I never really learned to play pool right away. I played trick shot right, straight up, and 3 years later, I was playing in the US to start a few tournaments and stuff like that. So worked out pretty good.
So you say 3 years later you were playing in the US. So I'm assuming you lived in France up until you were about 20.
Yeah, so I was still doing studying. I'm actually an optometrist by trade, so I had to finish my degree and stuff. And I still started to do tournaments here and there and moving around. But by I think when I was 22, I finished my degree. I was like, hey, I feel like I can do something out of this. Give me like 6 months. I told my parents, and if I don't need anything, just let me go. If I fail, it's fine. I'll come back and I'll have a job. It's fine. I'm young anyway. It's not going to change anything. 6 months. And if I do make it, then great. So I left for the US. I went to LA, like every other kid think is whatever. And then I made it work.
Really. How'd your mom feel about it when you said, "Hey, mom, I want to do pool trick shots for a living. I want to play pool"? Did she swing it at you?
No, I mean, I did what I needed to do. I did the study. We had an agreement, really. It's like if I do what I'm supposed to do, it was fine. And I think they were pretty okay as long as they didn't have to, sustain my living, right? So it was all on me. And I don't think they probably thought I wouldn't last. But, end of the day, I went there, and booked a room and a bunch of roommates in California. It wasn't pretty, but it worked out. So that was fun.
So I think I want to know, and I think a lot of people want to know, when you moved to LA, how did you take those steps to get into being a professional at your craft?
Well, so I was already pretty advanced in my career by then. So it was probably, I was 22, 23. I already made several trips to the US. So I had a bunch of video that went viral. So I had a few sponsors, but it wasn't really paying money, right? So by then I already knew how to play pool as well. So went there, started to do all the weekly tournaments here and there, try to make this. Try to book a few shows, but really what changed my life was APA. I was able to get a demo show, pretty much like a job interview, really, to do a show for them during one of the APA Nationals in August. I was still at the Riviera. Had a whole team, marketing, president, everybody watching, and at the end of the day, they loved what they saw. They realized I could do something for them, and people think I'm being paid like a lot of money. It's really not the case. Obviously I can't detail the contract or whatever, but what it did is it gave me access to the League Operators Network and all those people, and that really was life-changing because you're going from trying to book shows in pool room, which is very tough, to actually booking with League Operators who are trying to make a living out of what they're doing. So they need advertisement, they need interaction, and that was so much easier, and it changed completely my life.
Right. Plus you're getting a lot more exposure that way, which is getting you a lot more visibility.
Correct. That's the next thing too, right? Not only I was relevant online, I was also now relevant in person. And the more you expose, the more people want to book you, and it's been the same ever since. And to this day, I still do a lot of APA shows.
Now you moved to LA, you're doing shows for the APA, different trick shot shows. You're traveling around, and then you transition from that into actually owning your own APA as a league operator division.
Well, that was way later.
That was way later.
So after that beginning, when you start to work around, I'm like, we got to move out of Los Angeles. I met my wife and everything, and it's like, this is not possible. Too many trips. Starting to take a lot of flights, and you never know how long it's going to take you to go to the airport. So literally took a map, like, hey, I'm going to give you options, because I've already been by then quite a few states. This is like, I'm gonna give you, it was Denver, Phoenix, or Vegas, and we opted out for Vegas.
How old were you when you got married?
Wow, that's a good question. A long time ago. We've
Long
been
time.
together. Well, we've been together since was 23.
Was your wife French as well?
No, she's American. Yeah, so we haven't been married right away, but we've been together for a long time. So
Awesome.
12 years now. So I'm 35 at the moment. Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
So it's been a long thing, but I was like, okay, we're gonna move. We're gonna go somewhere. And so we opted for Vegas, big airport, easy travel, and corporate gigs as well. So ended up pretty good base. Kept doing on the shows and kept doing more videos and kept running more sponsors. And then the league only came in about 5 years ago. It was for sale here in Vegas, and that was always my next plan to transition when I was getting older. In all fairness, I was thinking I was doing this more in my 40s. But the opportunity came around, and
and it's a good steady income as a league operator as well, correct?
Yeah, but was I really ready to drop my daily life as a pool player? Not really. I was still like to practice. My favorite thing to do is just be there all day, practice, create videos. So that took away a little bit of what I wanted to do. But sometimes in life you can't pass up opportunities. So.
Now, if you guys notice behind me here, you'll see there's a couple that you can see, but there's a few out of frame that you cannot see. What those are is Guinness World Records. How many of those do you hold, Florian?
So 12 at the current moment. Actually, I think it's back 11 because one guy beat the spin records, but don't worry, this will be taken care of soon. No other details.
So what records do you hold? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you hold the one for the longest spin.
Yeah, so that one's got beaten like a few
That's
months
the one
ago.
that got beat.
Yeah, unfortunately, this one you need brand new balls, brand new felt, brand new everything, right? So you can't really if I were to try it today on my table the way it is, there's no chance, right?
You should do it on a table without felt.
Yeah, that would be. Actually, I did this for fun and giggles, and that was like 1 minute and 30 seconds. So,
really?
Yeah, I just spin.
Which other ones do you hold here?
All right, so I gotta look. Fastest time to jump out 15 balls. That was 5 seconds 69. That's pretty fast.
15 balls in 5 seconds. That's pretty crazy.
Most trick shot completed in 1 hour, 58. Those are all from the program, so you gotta run. This one's funny. Most clay sporting targets held in between the legs, broken by pull shot in a minute. So if you've seen my nutcracker shot during the show when I shoot the ball in between people's legs.
Yes.
So a TV show in Italy booked me, and they wanted that shot. They wanted to make a more
with clay pigeons
out of it. So it was clay pigeon, and so we had like 30 or 40 guys lined up, whatever, and just boom, 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 right? So that was kind of funny.
That's funny. That reminds me, and I don't want to get too far off subject here, but you did a video with Dude Perfect.
Yeah,
right?
it was exactly what they wanted. So I was like,
how was that, man? Those guys are larger than life, really.
Yeah, I mean they're very successful now. So you could see, because I did a couple of videos too. You could see the gradation of how they really went to the next level. I mean it was amazing. So and right now they're very smart business people too. So.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. What other Guinness records do we have here?
Let me see. So I think it was the same one-handed jump in the middle as fast, farthest distance to jump balls in between two tables, which was pretty cool.
How far was that distance? This guy doesn't even know his own world records. He's got to read them.
9.1 feet from pocket to pocket.
Whew.
So it's pretty far. So one of the cool one that I did was the most trick shot in 24 hours. Which this one I'm pretty happy. It was quite a record. We did that during COVID because I was bored and going nuts. So
how many did you do in a day? 24 hours.
I think 753 in 24 hours.
753.
So we had to follow the 120 program, the shot that we have for the WPA artistic pool thing. So you have to make them in order to 3 tries at it. If you don't make it, it's 0. If you make it in 3 tries, it's 1, right? And then you kept going, so you can't pass shots. You have to follow very strict. So it's a long day, and because I'm a little crazy, I think I'm gonna try to go for 48 hours next. So maybe coming soon. I don't know.
That makes me tired. Keep an eye out for that video. It makes me tired just thinking about that.
Well, I'm thinking, if I go 48 hours, I could try to beat the 24 hours. I can try to beat the 48 hours, and maybe even keep going and do the longest marathon or trick shot ever.
It'd be 3 records at once.
So that could be 3 at once, right? So that would be nice.
You're still currently to this day doing professional artistic pool, is that correct? As far as competitively?
I just restarted after 5-6 years stopping. The funny thing is I pretty much won everything that I wanted to win. Back then it was mainly ESPN, to be fair, that we wanted to win.
Right.
Once that was over, that was a big deal. I won a couple artistic cups. I won a bunch of discipline. And to be fair, titles don't really make or break my job. As much as I would love to tell you that, getting 5 titles will make me rich. It really doesn't. And the players and the people, the spectators, don't really care. I mean, as long as you have enough, and to be fair, 1 Guinness would be enough.
They care about the shots.
They care about what you do. They care about the shots and how entertaining it is. But I think now, first off, new sponsors, new cues. Q-Tech would love to get a few more titles out of it, so that's a nice thing, right? Second, I think the people have changed. It's a little different, and maybe I'm just getting older, maybe just to try some, missing a little bit of the adrenaline. The shows are great. It's definitely adrenaline rush, but not quite the same. You're much more in control, but when you're there trembling, your stroke is like this, what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
That's something you almost missed. It's something I almost missed, that competition spirit. So yeah. And unfortunately, I don't like to do it if I don't have time, and if I want to play something, I'm not going there to just play. I want to, have a chance to win. So the last 5 years in between COVID, the league, it was just not feasible humanly. So
you mentioned you're getting a little older right now, and that's funny because you're not really getting older as far as age goes, but your experience in the pool world is definitely getting older, right? Like you probably go to a show or a tournament, trick shots, whatever it be the case, and you have more experience there because you've been in the system doing it for so long. Do you go to shows and get the sense that you're the guy that people want to try to beat at these shows because you have notoriety?
Well, in the shows, not really. I mean, the challenge matches are usually more fun for me. So, and again, I'm not a professional pool player per se. I mean, I'm a professional trick shot artist. I won't deny that's for sure. But as far as normal pool, I'm a pretty good shot, but on my world champion level, no, and that's fine, right? So that target doesn't bother me too much. In the trick shot world, though, for tournament, yeah, I definitely have a big target on my back, and it's just what it is. You're gonna have 2 kind of people: the one they're gonna play really bad because they're afraid, or the one they're gonna play the best ever because they just want to beat you, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be tough, but it's fine. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's gotta be fun, and as long as I love the game, I'm happy, and this is one of the things I do. And if I have one secret, is I just love playing, not just this game, but any kind of game, and it's just what it is. So.
If it's got a ball in pockets, not even pockets, because you play 3 rail billiards as well, right?
It's a fascinating thing. It's just the motion of the balls. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it just gives you something that, I love it. And I only see this to very few people. A lot of guys, they're very good athletes, but they don't honestly have to love the game left. But if you talk to a few of the old timers that are still in the game to this day, they're still, and I'm thinking Mike Massey, Tom Rossman, those guys, they still have a love for the game. You can see it, their eyes still light up, right? And this is hard. Not everybody has that.
Yeah. I definitely know the feeling. I mean, I'm an amateur, obviously. I don't make a living playing pool, but I still use 50% of my free time at least as devoted to pool. So I understand 100%. I think a lot of our viewers do too,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, really, like I see this all the time. Those people have good potential or they practice a lot, but they don't love the game. You gotta love the game. If you love the game, it doesn't matter if you lose. I mean, it's not that it doesn't matter, but
right.
At the end of the day, pool especially, there's only 2 people. One of them's gonna lose. The 50% you're gonna lose. So.
And if the fun part for you is the act of competing and playing the game, then losses are easy to take.
Exactly. Right.
And losses are going to happen. Nobody is immune to losses.
Well, and that's why I love trick shot more than normal pool, right? Normal pool, the best pool is boring pool. It's you don't make a mistake, you don't get out of line. And trick shot's completely reverse thing. You got to get out of line. You got to do crazy things. You got to come up with new things. Pool is a much more strict regimen. You have to follow everything, do it right, and it's just a different kind of game. Less creativity, I suppose.
For sure, yeah, it's a lot more exciting and adrenaline enriched, I guess you could say, because you're doing things that you don't know if it's going to work. You're just doing it.
Correct.
And that's a big question I think I have, and a lot of people have as well, when they talk to somebody who's a professional trick shot artist like yourself. When you do play a regular game of pool, do you ever bust out the trick shots, or does it come in handy if you get snookered?
So first off, I got to give you a secret. All trick shot guys have the same problem. When we play trick shot for a while, like seriously, you cannot play pool after for like a day. I'm like not the same level that you are, right? So if you play just a little bit, like it takes me like at least 15 minutes to readjust. So it's a very different mindset. And I think it comes down from trick shot's all about the cue ball. Playing pool is more about the object ball, right, in a way. So now, do you get some trick shot out of the way? Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes happen rail jump all the time. I mean, one of the most useful one. kicking at the ball, you know, I mean, I bid you good luck to, you know, put me somewhere. Same if jumps are allowed. I mean, same thing. I mean, I'll jump anything.
Right.
One of my specialty, actually, when I used to play at national level in Europe, was playing a push shot for a one-handed jump, and it worked all the time.
Because people couldn't reach it, they would pass it back.
So they
and
think
would...
you miss hit or whatever, so you go and middle table, boom, you know. And I've made a couple that made a few highlight reels. So yeah, no, they come in handy, and the knowledge of the tangent, the bankings, and all this stuff as well. So it's definitely there. It's just it's a different mindset.
Awesome, man. Well, do you have any words for people trying to get into what you do? You know, any advice, I guess, you know?
Well, again, you know, just do what you love to do, and it all coming naturally. I think the game has changed. People are very lucky nowadays because everything is online. If you really want to do it, there's so many tutorials. I mean, I know I came up with a bunch, but I know many more people are doing a great job at it online. So you have everything you need to do to watch it. Yeah, just have fun with it, and you know, if it comes in that you can make a living out of it, then go for it. Take a wild jump.
And don't worry about taking losses either, right? If you keep trying at it, if you love it enough and just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it, you get out of it what you put into it.
Well, I'll tell you how I learned normal pool if you want.
Yeah,
that's a really
absolutely.
good story actually. So picture that, right? I'm like 21 years old, whatever. I'm already well-known trick shot. I got viral videos out, and I'm probably a skill level 4 APA. A normal pool goes.
Are you kidding me?
Technically, no, right? I can draw the ball whatever I want, follow whatever I want. But as far as
running
patterns and running out, yeah, it's about where I was, right? So I got people asking me to play challenge match at the end. It's always like kind of disappointing, right? It's like, what's gonna happen? So what I did is I went to Germany for like a year, pretty much every weekend, which I was quite close to the German border. And I played a guy that was well known in Germany. He was German champion. But he's getting older, had some health issues, but you know, it's a guy that learned right-handed, switched to left-handed. I mean, it is a monster, right? Nobody wants to play with this guy. He's just too good. I mean, you're talking a guy that can run 150 straight pull on the, you know. So I play with this guy every week for every weekend, 10 hours, you know, probably the weekend, maybe more, maybe 15 hours.
Just getting beat up.
Just getting beat up. And he called me rock master, always laughing at me, right? Because I just rocked for him and I almost had no shot. But tell you one thing, 6 months later, I knew how to run tables out. And that was it. I was, you know, from like, you know, basically not really to actually able to hold my own against pretty much everybody.
Well, that's a big lesson a lot of amateurs need to learn as well, because a lot of people, even my friends, they get sick of playing me. They're like, all I do is rack for you. And I say, listen, man, people would love to play somebody better than them all the time, because that will improve your game faster than almost anything.
That is the best thing you can do for your game. You have to learn to lose. But the thing is, most people, they get on the chair. They're like,
yeah, they get upset because they're not playing as much.
You have to look at the table, guess where it's gonna go, analyze the pattern, see which one is gonna go, what is gonna pick, why is he picking this solution, right? So as long as you're active on the chair, you are good.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened to me. Like I said, in 6 months, there was no lie too. I mean, it's everybody knows it, and I mean, from there, you know, it was pretty good. I was trying to do national tournament in France and all these things. So, you know, who knows, if I stayed in France, I probably would have pushed it to the next level as far as a normal pool. But you know, the way things worked, I didn't really have to.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, you know, I didn't do very long, but I played all the weekly tournaments, small little dive bars, trying to, you know, get a few
make
people.
A couple bucks.
Yeah. So I did this too, and sometimes people don't realize you know, I'm a pretty decent shot now. Yeah. Do I want to be at the level? Can I be at the level the pros are right now? Probably not, except for to spend 10 hours a day. Do I want to do it? Definitely not, because mentally, pool's the hardest sport in the world, I think. But imagine that you can stay on the chair, somebody runs 8 rocks on you.
Right.
You got to come back to, you know, I mean, those guys like Shane, Skyler, I mean, they are machines.
They keep their mental capacity, even when they're down. It could be a race of 9, they'll be down 8-0, and they can mentally keep in the game and come back.
Yeah, and for me, that was, I think I did the tournament in Germany, and so I drive like 5 hours and thinking, you know, I have good chances at it. It's, you know, pretty solid. I go there, I lose the lag. The guy runs 5 rocks on me. I'm like, okay. I take a safety. I got no shot. It's well done safety, right? And then the guy goes and runs 3 rocks, and I'm like, I literally had 1 shot. And that's when I realized that to get to the next level in pool, you have to, you know, it's just very, very hard. And I was like, you know what? I don't think it's needed. I'm just gonna do trick shots because at first I love it. I'm good at it. It's my special thing. There's no point for me to try to do both.
And that's really your passion anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I truly don't believe you can be the best one at both anyway. And I think history kind of shows us that even people like Mike Massey, who are great players, they were really never at the very top of the pool game, right? They're quite there, but never quite the same. So I feel like at some point you do have to pick a poison really and go for it. And to me, it was just a no-brainer.
Well, listen, I know you're a busy guy. I won't keep you any longer, but man, I appreciate you having me into your home, doing this interview with me. We've got a couple other videos coming out where we're teaching me how to do a couple trying to teach me how to do a couple trick shots.
That's so easy sometimes, huh?
We did a few challenge matches, and I think we're going to play some 3-rail billiards, man. But I keep an eye out for those videos, and I appreciate you and your time. Any closing words?
Cool. No, not really. I mean, that's it. Have fun with the game.
Have fun with it, guys. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. FLorian's channel, links in the description. Go subscribe to him as well if you're not already. If they're not already, though, it's crazy.
They live in a cave.
They live in a cave. I appreciate you, man.